forever
It's Wednesday,
owners.
and you know what that means? It means Matty Laws is preparing for tomorrow. That's what it looks like.
I got the big bottle of syrup this time, Greg.
I mean, I appreciate the fact that you're going hard for Luck of the Draw for the third time.
So I need to find a way, like maybe build a trebuchet or like a catapult to hit myself with the eggs this time around.
You could just, like a normal person, smash them on top of your head.
Well, I did that last time, and I almost gigged myself on air.
That's why you crack them first. Like you crack them slightly, so it gives like some wiggle room for the egg to like do its thing. I've been doing the show for almost 15 years, Maddie. I know what I'm talking about.
At least you got some good shots the last time I did the eggs.
That's fair. Anyway, we will get to Luck of the Draw talk a little bit later on, since that's tomorrow. Something I wanted to bring up at the top of the show, and maybe it's just me. And if I'm speaking out of turn, if I'm like completely out of my gourd talking about this, just stop me and throw an egg this direction. I've noticed a lot of people have been doing those like positivity posts. It's like, hey, who's like a streamer you like, or who's like somebody in the content creator you like, and maybe it's me being like selfish or like feeling rejected or something, but like I feel very forgotten about, and maybe that's part of my mood. And this is not like some wild, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I'll mention you. I'll mention it. It's not. I'm not asking for like pity support. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's like I try to do my best. I try to like be positive and support as many people as I possibly can.
Be a good person in the space.
And I don't feel like it's reciprocated. And that's not from everybody either. There's some really good people that do reciprocate. Shining Wizards, I appreciate, but like did one of those and put my name up there, which I greatly appreciate. They're good people, Shining Wizards. And again, like maybe I'm being a brat about it, but it's just wildly frustrating trying to do this show. We're going on almost 4 years now, and I understand I do different content than everybody else. I don't do reaction streams. And like I've done a couple of reaction videos that have done decently, but it's one of those things where I don't. How do I want to phrase it? Well, I don't do reaction videos because I don't feel genuine doing them. Because whenever I watch a show, and people who've watched shows with me can attest to this, I'm not like a reactor type person. I just kind of sit and I watch, and that's not entertaining content whatsoever. It's just no.
I think we've had that conversation before, especially around I think draft season. Because last year I wanted to bring you on, and you said those exact words. You're like, I'm not much of a reactor. We could get this kid, and I could be happy about it, but not show it, or be upset about it, and still just he's on the team.
Yeah, and I think I had a decent job reacting of picking up an offensive lineman, Broderick Jones, in the first round last year.
That was very good. I mean, you guys got exactly what you needed.
We did. I wish I would have been on for the second round for Joey Porter Jr. because I would have been super excited about that.
Oh, my God. I was so upset when you guys got Joey Porter Jr.
Hey, listen. That Chase Claypool trade worked out like a banger.
Omar Khan's doing really well with his trades and with everything that he's doing right now in Pittsburgh, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
No, we're not talking about it. And we'll get into football talk next week because, the draft is next week?
The draft is literally the day after the Greg Cherry show, so Keep your eye on that.
So we will be definitely talking all things NFL next week because we're post-WrestleMania. So, Maddie, help me out here. Like, am I wrong having these opinions?
No, so And I can get where you're coming from, because as somebody who deals with insane bouts of imposter syndrome, I know exactly what you're talking about there, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we do the shows, we, interact with people, and again, we are very small fish in a really big fucking pond.
Yeah.
Especially with the content that we try to put out, like, what we do here, an hour-long talk show, what I do on the Raw Ball podcast, just talking sports. People have been doing that, and people have been doing that for a long time and have built up an audience. The thing is, though, is we're still drawing eyes, we're still drawing interactions, we're still drawing viewers. So, in a way, we're still doing what we need to right. It's just the pond is getting bigger, and we need to find a way to have our scales shine a little brighter. I guess, is this the right sentiment there?
It's too deep.
One thing I feel like we have to offer, and this is not just like one big sales ad for this brand, but we do Jack of all trades, which Quizzlemania is not a thing anymore, and I've admitted as much that Jack of all trades is a pretty much
Jack of all trades and Quiz Buddies were definitely birthed thanks to Quizzlemania.
Absolutely. And I think Jote was more born of the fact that they wouldn't let me on Quizzlemania until, a couple of years ago. But Look at the Draw is a show that nobody else does.
There's not a single content creator that does something like Look at the Draw.
No, absolutely not. And I feel like, and that's where I try to reach outside the wrestling bubble to try and get more, like, I would like some more casual eyes on this. And I've told you guys before, if you like the content, and I know there are people who are here multiple times, there are people who are in the chat regularly, and I love you guys for that. I love all you. Please share the show, because I can tell people every single week to tune into the show, and I might get maybe one or two people in. If we get a whole bunch of people telling, hey, watch this show, even if you don't have like a big audience or whatever, maybe they know somebody. Like,
the word of mouth gets around.
Exactly, and we can only do so much on our end without being very pushy about it.
I mean, hell, even if you think about it, like when I came into this media sphere, the three majors were What Culture, Cultaholic, and Wrestle Talk. Like, that was like kind of before Fightful even started getting their name out, and I didn't hear about Fightful until Wrestle Talk and all them were doing news reports, and they were like per Fightful. So just kind of share us. Yeah, just kind of share us around, get us out there, because again, there aren't people that are doing much content like Greg is over here.
And that's what I like to have, is the original content. And yeah, like I said, Jack of all trades exists because of Quizzlemania, but Quizzlemania doesn't exist anymore. Like,
so now Jack of all trades is on its own because of itself.
It really is. And the last episode that we did, I mean, we got a clip shared from Britt Baker, which definitely wasn't intended. We kind of just wanted to show her the clip, and she commented on it and got quite a number of eyes on the show. So very much appreciated to the good doctor for that.
That was actually a really cool thing. I'm actually really happy to hear that. Not just Britt Baker, but a fellow Pittsburghian.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Pittsburgher.
Is it Pittsburgher or Pittsburghian?
It's Pittsburgh. I've never heard Pittsburghian. It's always Pittsburgher, at least for me.
I looked it up the other day. Apparently, it's Argentinian.
Wouldn't that be somebody from Argentina?
Well, yeah, that is from Argentina, but I thought it was Argentinian, but not Argentinian.
Ah.
Also, is this a new update? We can see lights now through StreamYard.
We can see lights. Huh.
Yeah, on my screen, it says that we've got 2 reactions. We've got 2 likes on the video so far.
I think that's That doesn't happen very often. That's a very much a Facebook thing. I'm not sure how many people come from Facebook. But yeah, appreciate the likes. And I do want to say JB3, who I've always liked doing this stuff with CWT and whatnot. So I feel the exact same way in a specific situation in my personal life. But I hope your personal life situation gets better, bud. I really do.
Again, CWT, that's like you, Greg, another channel that allowed me to come on whenever I had absolutely no idea if I was still going to be around in this, YouTube sphere.
And granted,
CWT, Lights Out Trivia, I owe a whole hell of a lot to those guys too.
And granted, I don't do wrestling trivia very often, if at all, anymore. But it was still a fun outlet. It was still good stuff, and even with Cass taking it over, still good content. I know JB3 has Lights Out Trivia, which I'm admittedly not great with very many spheres outside of pro wrestling.
It's fun, man. I love doing Lights Out Trivia because I always used to do a bunch of general knowledge trivia. So I love doing stuff like that. My biggest weakness though is like TV shows and movies. Your boy don't watch TV.
Other than football, I guess.
Yeah, combat sports and sports, that is our luckiness. Also, Fight of the Champions, night 1 is tonight.
So go subscribe to Lights Out Trivia on YouTube. All right, something else I wanted to bring up, kind of in the same vein. And I'm not going to go into as much depth because somebody made me feel a little bit better about this. But when I reach out to people for these shows, and trust me, this is not something that I'm able to do easily. So
you reach out to a lot of people, man.
I reach out to so many people, and I try to get people for Jack of All Trades. I try to get people for Luck of the Draw. I try to get people for this show. You guys have no idea unless you do content creation like this, and you don't have the problem is there are a few people who I know I can rely on to be on shows on a consistent basis, like Ella, like Kylie, Haley, like they're pretty good. Daisy as well. They're good with being on shows because we've developed a kind of a rapport with them. It's very hard to get people who have never been on this brand before to keep in contact with us. And I understand that we are not, by any stretch of the imagination, a big conglomerate of a channel. But it's still frustrating to not at least get the respect of some people to at least hear back.
Just get a response. And this also comes from me because there was one point in time where I was trying to do interviews. I gave up on that completely. But reaching out, and every now and then you just, I see this person interacting with people all the time. I'll shoot them a message, see if they're available.
Yeah.
A couple days pass, weeks pass. Greg, you have every right to be frustrated in that situation. I personally feel because I've been in that situation, and it's one thing to just, have somebody politely say, "Hey, bud, sorry I can't be on your show," but it's another to just sit in the drafts, kind of.
Mm-hmm. And that's the part that annoys me. I am trying to better this channel, better my experience, and I understand that people want value. I understand that people are my time is valuable, and I respect that. Okay, I'm not trying to stiff anybody. I'm not trying to, waste anybody's time by doing this. If you come on the show, I'm going to be respectful. You're going to have some fun, and that's what it's all about. So, anybody who's been a previous guest of my show, or of any of the shows, I feel knows that. I don't know what it is. And that, again, you mentioned imposter syndrome earlier. It's such a hard thing when you feel like you're not a big deal, or like you're not that important in the grand scheme of things as far as the wrestling media sphere or even like the content creation sphere, and then when you don't get responses, it kind of backs that up, and it's really frustrating.
Mm-hmm. It hurts, man. It really does.
It does, and like I know I'm venting a lot, but that's the title of the episode. Like, this is what you probably expected. And
it's good to get shit like this off your chest too, man. Like, not just bottling it up.
I have to get it out in some fashion, because fortunately you as a content creator understand that. It's just maddening, and I don't even know what to do about it. Like, I feel like my approach is pretty respectful, and then you see these people. And this is another part of my rant. You see these people on Twitter sharing clips of content creators who are absolutely shitty people.
Oh my God. And it's been happening so much just in the last, 3 months, 4 months?
WrestleMania.
Oh, let's see. We got Officer Murphy saying the stupid shit that he was saying about Javon Evans. Young OG, absolutely fucking killing it in NXT.
Yeah.
Hey Greg, what were you doing at 19 years old?
I was in college. I failed out my freshman year, but that's another story.
I was getting stoned and doing absolutely fuck all. This Javon Evans kid is killing it in NXT at 19 years old.
Javon Evans is going to be a freaking force.
And then this one is the one that irritates me the most, because I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I was first, trying to find wrestling podcasts and stuff, I found Joe Cronin. I was a subscriber of his for a little bit. And, I listened to his stuff, and it was entertaining and enjoyable for a little bit. But, man, dude really just started getting drunk and saying egregious shit from, a couple years ago. Yeah. So now, knowing that he became the main character of Twitter the other day because he said the most out-of-pocket shit about one of the nicest people in our media sphere.
Mm-hmm. We've put Denise Salcedo over on this show a number of times, and even though she hasn't
interview.
Exactly, even though she hasn't been on this channel, she's at least been kind and talking to me. So she's not included in this, but one of these days, I do want to get Denise on one of the programs, whether it's this show.
I can almost guarantee that we'll have at least Denise on here one time.
I'd like to before the end of the year. I would like to. Honestly, I think she'd be a blast on Luck of the Draw. I really do.
Her being on Luck of the Draw would be great. Hell, even I know that she's not the biggest fan of wrestling trivia. But I know she would have a whole lot of fun on Jack of all trades as well.
Yeah, she's done Quizlemania enough times that I feel like that wouldn't be anything new for her. So either this show or Luck of the Draw would probably be where I would want to have her on. But if she wanted to do Joe, I wouldn't stop her.
And then we also had the bullshit. We haven't even really touched on Yarngate, but that's not even our shit to really talk about.
It's not ours, but it's still really, really shitty.
What the fuck is going on in wrestling media? People are being rude and shitty to Danny Talks Wrestling too. Oh my God.
And I actually had a brief conversation with Danny because I had talked to her about getting her on Luck of the Draw tomorrow. And, with all the stuff that she went through over WrestleMania weekend and whatnot, she hadn't got back to my messages until today. And we're going to work something out to have her on at some point in the future, because I don't have a problem with Dan. She seems super cool.
Why would people have an issue with her? She is so nice and so positive, man.
Because they want to do her. That's what it is, and they can't, and then they get vile about it, even though they have no right to be vile about it. That's what it is.
I feel like there needs to be another conversation. We kind of legitimately talked about this 3 months ago, 4 months ago.
we did the Women in Wrestling show. Was that after Luck of the Draw, the first one?
I want to say yes.
It's very soft.
Okay. Because
But-
we had Daisy, we had Kylie, Haley, and Ella all on the show. We need to do, I feel like we need to do a follow-up for women wrestling fans. And we can include media personalities in that too. But like, we should definitely do a follow-up because there are so many male wrestling fans. I put that in quotes because like,
air quotes.
I don't know how so many people can be so terrible to other people that A, you don't even know, and B, like if they don't share your opinion, you don't have to be a dick about it.
Like, cool. They watch AEW. I'm a WWE fan. Cool. I'm an AEW fan. They're watching WWE. Why does that matter? And even more so, we talked about this when we were talking about the importance of women in wrestling media. Like, the amount of discrediting that goes on just because they're not male is ridiculous.
It is.
It's disgusting, really.
Listen, none of those wrestling fans can play the "oh, I know wrestling more than you" card because odds are you probably don't.
No.
You just think you do because you got a dick, and that's not how things work, buddy. It's okay, listen, as like frustrated as I am about stuff, about like not getting more people watching the show or, you know, not getting people responding back to my messages, I'm still not going to be a dick about it. I'm still going to treat people with respect. I don't know where these people come off or where they get off about treating people disrespectfully and thinking that they're going to benefit from it. I don't understand it.
Well, even like in the comments, you'll see, and you see this with anybody that works for Fightful. Someone will say the most out of left field, egregious shit. They'll get retweeted by someone in Fightful, like a Kate, like an Alex, like a Sean. And then immediately they backtrack because, hey, I got noticed by somebody at Fightful.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of it is probably attention seeking.
And that is the worst way of trying to get attention.
And do you know what the frustrating part about it is? Like, some people are subscribed to the theory that any attention is good attention. And in my opinion, that's not true. Like, I would much rather stay in the not too many people know me, but the people that do are good people.
The people that do know me like me.
Exactly. And like, I go back and forth with this all the time. It's like, I want to be like a big popular name out there, but at the same time, that means the community grows and there could be some terrible people integrating into that community. And I don't want that. So it's
with the more volume you get in, the more rotten apples you're gonna take in.
Yeah.
And I really noticed it watching the comment section on the Pat McAfee show during WrestleMania week. They're on ESPN. There's people that watch Pat McAfee solely for listening to football, baseball, or hockey talk.
Yeah.
There ain't no chance in God's green earth that they were there to try to listen to wrestling talk, which is all that weekend was about. And the amount of vile disrespect that I was seeing people fling at each other just because they're wrestling fans, it's egregious, man.
It absolutely is. And here's the thing, too. Pat McAfee has a contract with WWE. Like, he works on the Raw announce team. So obviously, he would want to plug something he's doing on his show.
Especially if he's spending the entire fucking weekend in Philly.
Why don't people get this? Like, if you think that I'm going to go on, like, some YouTube channel or, like, some place that I'm working and not promote my own stuff or not promote them or whatever the case may be, like, you're out of your mind. Why wouldn't I do that?
It's my favorite comment that I saw was, "Thank God wrestling's over."
Buddy, wrestlers work out more than most, if not all, professional athletes. They work 52 weeks a year.
Speaking of working, and I don't want to go too far away if you still need to vent a little bit more, but Roman Reigns is doing a movie in Hollywood with Keanu Reeves and Keke Palmer.
Yeah, saw that picture, and good on him. Like as much as he like held the title in the last 3.5 years. By the way, my reign's still longer.
You're like, you didn't beat me, asshole.
That's I was hoping somebody would catch up on the day and be like, 13-16 is very impressive. 1790, but it's impressive.
But yeah, no. Roman's second ever movie is going to be another box office hit because his first one was Hobbs and Shaw, and that one was a hit.
Mm-hmm. So good on Roman. Maybe he is making the transition to Hollywood, and he'll be back sporadically. But yeah, those were my two main bitching points. That I feel like Rodney Dangerfield doing that. I get no respect. I feel like I'm doing that bit talking about the show, but not only that, like the people who don't respond, I feel like not that you like owe me your time to do the show. Like if you can't do the show, you can't do the show, or if you don't want to do the show, you don't want to do the show. At least have the courtesy to give me a response.
You could just send one of those auto-generated responses that pop up at the bottom. Like it's just a matter of responding.
Yeah, something. Like I've had jobs I apply to that don't say anything, and I have to find out otherwise. That like, and this was months ago, but like that I have to find out that I didn't get the job. They wouldn't let me know themselves, and it's like, okay, thanks. Like how
the fuck were you supposed to find out that you didn't have the job?
Ask me. But really, that's the main thing. Like I've had communication with some people that were really nice and that like kindly turned me down, which that's fine. Like if you're nice about it, I will be perfectly happy. I will not complain about you whatsoever because you at least gave me the courtesy of a response. That's all I'm asking for. I'm asking for courtesy. I'm not asking people to like do the show for free and like take 2-3 hours out of their day to be bored out of their minds. Number one, I don't think that would happen. The shows are too chaotic to be bored out of your mind. And that's all of them. But like I'm a human being like everybody else.
Just a little bit of respect, a little bit of recognition.
Yeah, it goes a long way. It really does.
And, to the point of people not responding, the nicest rejection I have ever gotten on an interview request, and this was because I was going around just shooting my shot to wrestlers left and right.
Yeah.
Josh Alexander, right before he became the Impact World Championship, was like, yeah, I would love to come on if you could get a hold of, our talent agent. And then whenever we finally got around to it, some stuff came up and he personally messaged me and told me that he couldn't do the show. So like, that's a guy that's world champion busting his ass, probably was in the gym while he shot me that message. So,
my goal for the October Luck of the Draw, and I say the October one, because this coming summer I'm doing an in-person one, so I'm not going to film one live. Just got.
I have to find orange-colored syrup for this one.
Well, no, because I did chocolate for the last October one. So.
Okay. I'm molasses.
I was gonna say I'm not doing molasses. I might honestly just go back to chocolate. Like I think that might be the easiest one.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can only cycle through so much, and the in-person ones, the punishments actually get way worse. Because like I have savory stuff in there too. So sorry, Daisy.
Oh, Oh, we could totally do barbecue one of these days for fucking.
I've done barbecue sauce in one of my in-person ones. I got complaints that the hair
Smells
smelled
smoky.
like it smelled like that for days. There are a couple punishments that I probably will never do again. One of them was vegetable oil.
Oh, vegetable oil is horrible to get out of hair.
Yeah, I did that once. A couple
You
years
kind of
ago.
have to. You kind of have to have that water like beyond scalding.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
No,
And then
like
your
I said,
body gets all slimy and stuff. And
it was a one-time experiment.
I wonder how many
also,
people have said that with olive oil, Greg.
Yeah. But yeah, for like the next Jode, for the next luck of the draw that I do after tomorrow.
I can get in Jack of all trades again now that Sat's not champion.
You can. I'll probably have you on, but like I want to have bigger name guests be a part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that I deserve it by any stretch of the imagination. I know I'm not a bigger channel, but I feel like I deserve a shot, at least, of getting some people on. You know? Wouldn't kill you.
And we'll again, we'll start shooting more messages out and seeing if we can't get more feelers now that WrestleMania season is over.
Exactly. And like the next Jote is until the last week of June. So got plenty of time for that. Luck of the draw in October. Again, that's middle of the month. Long ways away. We're going to do 2 Jotes before the next live Luck of the Draw. Because there's the June one, September one.
Okay. I was about to be like, when's the live Luck of the Draw?
Yeah, the next live Luck of the Draw, obviously tomorrow. One after that, October. Not sure if I'm going to do that in place of the Greg Jury Show or not. Really depends.
JB3. If they don't want to play, I'll play again, Greg. As long as Nico isn't on when I am.
I mean, we can bring you back if you want to try and take down Cass again. That's fine.
We're gonna need all of the guns in order to take down Cass. I'm gonna let you know what.
Well, here's the thing with Cass. Now I have to see if I can find weaknesses in his game because I struggled to find weaknesses in Sats for 2 years.
I tried to buy the belt off of Cass, so apparently money isn't the weakness.
I haven't put this up like all show. I haven't put that up at all. So.
It's okay. It's the halfway point.
Yeah, it's a halfway point. So if you want to donate and support the channel, appreciate it.
How has Nico been? I know he hasn't been doing a whole lot of trivia recently, but he's been actually doing like cage fighting, yeah?
Yeah, he's been doing like, I don't know if it's jujitsu or what he's doing, but he almost came up here for the Rumble, but you know, we're like 2 hours distance from each other, so it's a long haul. Yeah, as far as I know, he's doing fine. So that's kind of the goal. Get more people to respond, get more people on the shows, share the shows with more people. Like if you are watching this show right now, go to your social media, share this show, share the channel, because we do live stuff every single week.
Every week.
And whether it's us, whether it's a watch along, whether it's one Jeff shows, whether it's one JJ shows, check them all out. Like there's something for everybody on this channel. Yes, it is a lot of wrestling content. It's not all wrestling content, but it's a lot. So I feel like this show is the most. This show and open mic night have the most variety.
Without a doubt, yeah.
If you want to talk about chaotic shows, open mic night is that.
That's probably the best way to put that.
I mean, I don't remember. You might have been out sick when I did the Nana dance on open mic night. Because I think you were in the chat, but you were on the show, but you were not feeling well.
Yeah, I was supposed to do the wrestling karaoke, but I had to dip out early. I know that.
Yeah, I did that, and I was actually requested to sing Swerve Strickland's theme and do the Na-Na dance at the same time. Not easy.
Oh, I was about to say, I bet you were a little bit out of breath, huh?
I was a little bit out of breath, yes. Very much so. I think that was pretty much my main 2 points. I thought I'd be able to go the entire hour ranting, but
I mean, sometimes it's good whenever you expect to rant for a long time, but you don't hit that long mark.
We have a couple donations. One from Leonard Kitty Kiss that says, "I like women." Okay.
Same, buddy.
I mean, who doesn't? Wrestling fans. Tony, that was bad. Tony John says, "Hi, I have a rich friend that owns a company, and he's having a hard time getting respect from his employees, and is starting to make rash decisions. Any advice for my friend?"
What type of rash decisions is a
like if he's treating his employees terrible as a result of not getting respect, that's not the way to go about it.
The old saying is respect is given, not earned, or it's earned, not given.
Yeah, you have to earn respect. You have to. I feel like as long as your employees' morale is at a decent level, or if it's relatively high, you shouldn't have a problem getting respect. If you're authoritative but approachable, that's really the thing. And also, if you have a rich friend, I could use $5,000 to pitch a game show. Shoot my shot. Why not?
Shoot your shot.
Exactly. Like that's one of my goals, and that's another thing I'm having trouble doing is finding a side hustle. Because unfortunately, this channel right here does not provide much income at all. Like it very much varies. Like I might get a YouTube payout once a year, and that's like $100. It's obviously not sustainable income. So I would like your ideas, because I would love to do, like, I know I used to have channel goals in the past of something that I could do to show like my appreciation or whatever the case may be. Should we do like a donation goal like for the rest of the year to try and get that? Because that's something I really want to do. I want to pitch one of my shows.
We do have about 7.5 months.
Yeah.
We could totally set up a donation goal. I don't know how much you need to hit in order for you to get that amount that you want out of it, but
well, I mean, $5,000 is a lot of money. That requires a lot.
$5,000 is a lot of money.
It is very much. That requires a lot of shares of this channel. Let me tell you. Yeah, we could come up with something. I feel like this might be like a group chat type thing to try and throw around ideas, and also to try and get our name out there. Because like this is a goal that I've had for over a decade now, and like finances have been hell for pretty much gens in my entire marriage.
Yeah,
we've had good spots, we've had bad spots, but we've never been like to the point where we could do something huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like this is a lifelong goal that I want to achieve, and I'm tired of waiting for it. So like, if I could get a side hustle, or if we could get a bunch of people watching this show, making us hit our goals, like what do you want to see from us that would make you want to say, hey, we can make this goal happen?
Because again, I'd do anything for money.
I mean, Maddie does stuff for free, so Like
I do a lot of stupid shit for free.
he skewered himself live on a YouTube show because the Broncos lost to the Chiefs.
Yes, I did. I took
So
11
imagine-
skewers for the 11 points. It was going to be a lot worse, but Denver decided to turn it around in that game.
Yeah. And then you came back and you actually beat them the second time. So
Yeah,
didn't
and
have-
yet how irritated that made me, Greg.
yeah, you would have had to wear that dress.
Oh, you mean the neon orange Speedo that I would have had to buy?
Yeah. I know one person in particular who would have been very disappointed that didn't happen. Hey, it's the
What would it
tornado
take
here.
for Matty to shave his head and beard?
$5,000.
Yeah, I was about to be like, this is another one of them things that your boy needs heavy compensation because
Tell you what,
these
we'll-
don't.
We'll set a goal of $6,000. I'll give you 1,000.
Just to sit there as a bald egg drinking.
Yeah.
The beard is an easy thing for me to get rid of. Sometimes I just get pissed off and I'll get rid of it. It's the hair.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Like, if we set those kind of goals, I know Wrestle Talk did something similar, but they also have a lot more viewers.
Yes.
So I feel like we would need to set collective goals for if we hit this level, we'll do this. If we hit this level, we'll do that. Again, probably more stuff to talk about off air, but we will figure something out because, again, chasing this goal, whether it happens or whether it doesn't, I would like to have the opportunity to make it a reality.
Oh yeah. Hey, and here's hope that one day we get lucky enough that one of us hits the lottery.
I mean, if we hit the lottery, then I'll just do this show for fun, or actually, like something I talked about, like if we were to ever win like a ridiculous sum of money, is to get all the people who co-host the show, get them live in studio to do it that way, and then that would just be our job.
Yeah, like all of the Pat McAfee show.
Pretty much, except lower budget.
Yeah, lower budget. I don't think we're gonna have a whole sports stadium across from our set.
No, but
Maybe a basketball rim.
just have like a bowling alley in the studio or something.
That'd actually be killer.
That would be.
What was
Did you
that?
hear that? We're under a tornado watch, so if I get cut off, that's why.
Okay, Greg, please be
So-
fucking careful.
Yeah. Well, I don't plan on leaving the house, so awfully close.
I come from Missouri, as a lot of people know. So Tornado Alley is one of the things that I know very well about. When did you get under the tornado watch, and what's the weather looked like the past week?
So we went under a tornado watch at about 3:30. It's supposed to last till midnight, but
Oh damn, that's a stressful night.
but the rain just started like half an hour ago.
It doesn't take the rain long if the tornado's following.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a well-built house? Like, is it weatherized?
I mean, we should be fine. It's just a tornado watch. It's not a tornado warning. If it was a tornado warning, I'd be in the basement.
Greg Cherry with floodlights.
Pretty much.
Tornadoes ain't fun, ladies and gentlemen.
Nah. Yeah, that's why you don't see me outside chasing it.
Could you go outside and show us the storm?
I mean, I could. I don't know how much you'd be able to see, but I could probably. Ugh.
Getting
still
Greg
comfortable.
Mobile on the Greg Cherry Show, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know if you can see any of that, but
I mean, I can see that it looks like absolute shit out there.
it's kind of dark. Again, not being able to see the angle, I couldn't really tell.
Have you talked about the whole footage situation with AEW or not yet?
Well, no, because that aired last week, and that aired after our show, so no, we haven't got to talk about it.
What are your thoughts on it?
I think it was a waste of time. But like, if they would have showed it immediately after it happened, it might have had more impact. Waiting 8 months to do it just seems
Without audio
pointless.
as well.
Because the two people involved, one's in WWE and one's not on AEW TV right now. So what was the point?
Other than to maybe get more eyes on Jack Perry. I have said this to all of my friends, all of my co-hosts. The only thing this served was to make everybody in the situation look bad. Nobody looked good here. Nobody did. And to use that as, the Jacksons couldn't focus after that. They couldn't focus on their match.
It's such a weak excuse. Like a weak way to use it in the storyline. And then Tony doubled down on it. It's like, listen, we're very appreciative of Tony Khan providing an alternative to WWE, especially when WWE was going through probably its worst creative year since 1995. But what he's doing now is people don't like the WCW 2000 comparison, and Tony Schiavone doesn't like the WCW 2000 comparison because he was there.
Because Tony Schiavone was there for WCW 2000.
Yes, he was. And granted, I don't think this is as damning as the resets, even though they happened on the same calendar day. But I just don't understand, why?
Again, it served no other purpose than to make everybody else in the situation look bad. And again, Tony Khan, I feared for my life in this situation. You feared for Gangly Punk?
And a monitor being knocked over near you?
You had Cassius Ono right. You had Chris Hero right next to you. Chris Hero could pick up Punk and walk with him.
I very much think that was exaggerated.
Oh, it was bad. They aired it 2 days before Perry walked into Chicago for Windy City Riot. So It did no favors for Jack either. Because
from what I've heard, from what I've seen from people who were in that crowd,
he got a good reaction.
Yeah. So maybe it helped him a little.
But he was also coming out with the Chicago flag and everything else. You know the old saying, man. People like to cheer the bad guy.
And for Punk, it's not going to do anything because Punk's only been on TV messing with Drew McIntyre. So I don't think it'll affect him at all. He'll just be like, whatever, it's over.
Yeah, I was about to say, Punk said his piece. Punk is now, he's done the interview. He's, did the whole Colt Cabana thing with AEW now. I think Punk's done talking about it unless somebody brings it up.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Nobody looked good in this situation. I will say this, though. Me and Devin are going to see AEW in June.
Well, there you go.
Speaking of, what's on tonight?
Tonight, I honestly don't know. I've been kind of terrible about following Dynamite the last few weeks because here's the thing. Mercedes hasn't wrestled and is probably not going to wrestle for another month. So
yeah, no match announced for Dynasty this weekend.
No. And I don't think there will be. For a second, I thought Sheets was trending, and I wanted to see what. I was on Twitter real quick. No, maybe I'm not. I did see that Adam Cole was his recovery is not going super great for his injury.
Adam Cole, for some reason, does have like long recovery times.
I mean, he must have messed up his ankle pretty good. What do you think about the stuff with Nyla and the Oklahoma Commission?
Okay, so what the hell did I miss? I took a nap. I woke up. Nyla Rose was trending, and Nyla Rose became one of the tags for our show today.
Yeah. So apparently,
I know the Oklahoma Athletics Commission is trying to. Are they taking AEW to court, or are they banning AEW?
They were upset that Nyla competed on a show. It is basically what it is. And
because, again, Oklahoma, racist, homophobic, transphobic as shit. People can't have fun in the state of Oklahoma.
Here's the thing. And this is one of my biggest problems with, politics and whatever, taking over. It's everybody has to realize that they are people. If you agree with their life decisions or not, that's really not up to you.
Because it's not your life.
It's not your life. You cannot prevent people from living their life. This is literally Nyla's job. She gets paid to do this. And you preventing her from getting a paycheck is that feels illegal.
I mean, it has to be illegal somewhere.
And why are athletic commissions involved with pro wrestling anyway? Athletic commissions should be for legitimate, not fixed sports.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling is a television program. It is live entertainment.
The athletic commission does have to be involved with boxing, so if you're telling me boxing ain't fixed, buddy.
You know what I mean, though. Wrestling is
I got you.
More well known for being fixed.
Yeah.
So why they can't allow that is, it feels like overreach. It feels like government overreach, and it's another reason. I can't stand.
I don't even know if it's more government as much as it is the church, but because those mid-southern states. They use the Bible as such a shield for what they are putting forward.
But listen, I understand. There are a lot of Christians that take the LGBT community and paint them as the ultimate sin, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm sure we could do an entire episode on this, but...
Oh, I could do an entire episode on that, but I can guarantee you I'll get canceled afterwards.
Here's the thing. As a Christian, I don't believe that's the case. Because as a Christian, I am to believe that God loves everybody exactly the same. And I feel like the Christians who believe that they are perfect because they are saved by God, they look down on people because they are human and think that they are better than them. And I feel like that is a big problem with a lot of Christians.
Oh, it's a massive problem.
I have a problem with that, and I've called people out for it. It's God loves us all the same. You are not better than me. You are not better than anybody. And you need to admit where your faults are, because you're probably hiding something that you don't want a bunch of people to know because you are Christian. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Christians should have humility, and they don't.
No, a large majority do not.
I tried. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I am the model Christian by any stretch of the imagination, because I'm fucked up. but at least I admit that.
Yeah, we are man enough and human enough to admit that we fuck up.
Yeah. So that's where I have a problem with it. And Nyla, who is, if you follow her Twitter, is
Nyla is a
beyond it.
great human being.
And beyond entertaining.
One of the best Twitter games out there.
So all these people in this athletic commission can go suck a dick.
I mean, didn't the Philadelphia Athletic Commission have an issue with broken glass? That's why we couldn't have a whole lot of glass death matches over the weekend?
Probably. Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission doesn't allow barbed wire either, from what I understand. Because
Doesn't allow barbed wire.
Well, there was a barbed wire steel cage match in Pittsburgh for WWE, but they didn't use the barbed wire whatsoever.
Was that the Big Show JBL match?
Yep.
Still one of the most creative endings to a cage match I've ever seen.
The ending was fantastic. I love the ending. That was one of my favorites.
I remember being a kid and being pissed off because I hated JBL growing up, but
JBL was a great heel.
But still the most creative finish to a cage match I've seen.
Exactly. So, Maddie, anything to add at the end of this episode? Do you think my rants on the things we talked about were
completely justified? Completely justified. Because if you've done content creation, the first half hour of this show probably relates to you.
Yeah.
It is not easy to get people onto our shows.
And I'm not trying to call anybody out either. I don't feel like I should be petty to call people out unless they wrong me a number of times.
Yeah.
This is just an in general statement. This is just my frustration. This is how I see it. If I'm wrong, somebody should tell me that. Like, I would appreciate you telling me that and telling me why I'm wrong. Like, I want to know. I genuinely want to know, because not knowing and being ignored drives this guy insane. I may be an introvert, but I still want attention sometimes. So,
at least acknowledgement.
So that is going to do it for the Greg Cherry Show. Tomorrow, luck of the draw. Maple syrup is going to be in full effect.
This might be the stickiest luck of the draw yet.
It very much could be. I mean, granted, we've had some pretty good ones in the past, and I'm talking about the in-person ones. But this,
have you done syrup before?
Dude, maple syrup has been on shows multiple times.
So, how long does it take to get out of one's hair?
Well, if you shower right after, it shouldn't be too long.
Okay, well, I do mine in my shower. So.
Yeah, you do yours in your shower, so you're pretty much built in to be like, hey, as soon as I'm done, I'm shaving.
Greg, take me out.
But who knows? Maybe your luck will change and you'll actually pull out a victory. Who knows? I don't know.
If I win, I will drink this bottle of maple syrup.
Well, don't do that. You'll get sick.
I will totally get sick.
But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate it. And we will see you tomorrow for Luck of the Draw. We will see you next week for an NFL draft preview on the Greg Cherry Show. And until next time,
I get to talk about the draft for 3 straight days next week.
Exactly. Like this show, share the show, subscribe to the channel, do all of that stuff. We can't do this without your support, and your support is what we live off of. So thank you very much. Don't be a jag. We'll see you tomorrow for Luck of the Draw, and we'll see you next week for another Greg Cherry Show. Have a good night.